What's up, everybody? What's going on? This is your man B-Dot here from the TLC live crew. Let's get into it. Before we get, any further into the show, I wanted to give you guys an opportunity to, further your podcast experience. If you haven't heard about Anchor, that's the platform that TLC uses to record their podcast. It's the easiest way to make a podcast. Let me explain the biggest thing for you. It's free. No money, no nothing. Just make an account, get it up there. There's creation tools that allow you to record and edit your podcast right from the phone to the computer, so you don't need any of the fancy podcast equipment to get started. You can go ahead and do that right from your phone, you feel me? Anchor will distribute your podcast for you so it can be heard on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and many other podcast platforms around the world. You can make money from your podcast with no minimum listenership, so that means you don't have to have a required amount of viewers in order to get your money off of this podcast. Everything you need to make a podcast is all in this one Anchor app. So download the free Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started. Again, anchor.fm to get started. You could download the free Anchor app from either your Android store or Google Play Store or your Apple Store. Again, that's anchor.fm. All right, this is B-Dot signing out.
All right, what's going on, everybody? This is your host, B-Dot here. I'm back with another episode of the live crew. You already know the motto, how it goes. For the culture, by the culture, stay live. You ain't got to get live. That's always been the same since day one, and that's never changed.
Oh, I'm super family oriented.
That's great, though. That keeps you grounded.
From my dad, but he ain't like that, though. I wrote him on the holidays, but he ain't right back. So the daddy issues is my issues, but I ain't let that show. Till I turned my back away from God, I gave my life back, though. I was chosen for this part like any mighty mo. I gave the girls a head start, so I had to start back over. A few bills came in the mail, but I replied back no. I can't be out here settling when I serve the utmost. I don't brag or boast, I deserve a toast. I got a mouthful to say, I promise I won't choke. I'm running in my own lane, you can't come down this road. Better get out my field and stick to what you know. They throw a shade up in my comments.
Social distancing.
Keep away!
6 feet. In style.
I stopped rapping a long time, word ain't think I was hot. See, I forgive but not forget, so don't you think I forgot. Enough smoke to keep their heads up, they would think I was pop. Jesus, please, please, Lord, I've been kneeling a lot. Prepare the table that's before me, use it for more than a prop.
All right, what's going on, everybody? This is your host, B-Dot here. I'm back with another episode of the live crew. You already know the motto, how it goes. For the culture, by the culture, stay live. You ain't got to get live. That's always been the same since day one, and that's never changing. I got a real incredible lyricist person. Overall, just a great person to have on the show, period. I'm pretty sure a lot of you already know exactly who she is based off of her Sunny Sundays post that she's been dropping. And I know I've been taking a look into everything that's been going on, so I'm sure you all have as well. Without further ado, guys, I'm gonna go ahead and introduce SunnyJ to the live crew. I'm gonna let her introduce herself for you all so you guys can see what she has going on.
What's up, everyone? My name is SunnyJ. I am your favorite Christian female lyricist from Durham, North Carolina, and I'm just so glad to be here. I really am. I'm really excited.
All right. We're gonna go straight into it. Like I said, before we started, I was really hyped to have you up here. We had spoken like maybe a month or 2 months ago.
Yeah, it was like 2 months ago, right?
Yep, 2 months ago about getting you up here, and everything worked out accordingly. So I'm glad. I'm actually glad because I was determined to have you up here because I saw the talent that you had, and I definitely wanted to be a part of highlighting that talent that you bring. You definitely bring a different type of, well, not different. What I would say about it is something that we needed. It's refreshing. We needed. We needed the bars.
So thank you so much.
Yes, ma'am. We needed the bars. We needed that, and you definitely deliver every Sunday, and even on other days, not just Sunday. So, I'm definitely, ecstatic about your future and where you're headed with your music career and your music goals. So for the people tuning in and the people listening, especially the ones that can't see on the live right now, as far as your music, what was it that was your main inspiration for you getting into music, and how did that come about? Like, how did you realize that, okay, I might be kind of good at this?
Right. So I actually started out as a poet. So like that might be why my music is so lyrical, because poetry is definitely with words. So my mother was a poet. She did poetry. She wrote poetry to pay her way through school, through college. So I grew up around a lot of poets. So poetry is my first love. I've always been a singer, so I sing praise and worship minister in my church. I sing all the time. I was in tour choir at UNCG. So, and I went to Durham School of the Arts, which is a performing arts school, of course. So, music it was just always in me, like just the art of just using my words to, to talk to people or to communicate with people. So then I got to college, and I used to rap all the time with like my sisters in high school or whatever. And I did like one show just for fun in high school at DSA at it was like a talent show, and I did it, and there was a lot of people like, oh, you like, girl, this is good, and I'm like, what? Me. So then I get to college, and when I got to college, there was this group. They're called Live Life Entertainment. So I shout out to them.
Big shout out.
I went there, and they had just got rid of their female singer. And I knew one of the guys that was in the group. His name's KP. He's also an artist. So he was like, you should come and join our group. So I joined, and I'm singing. I'm doing all the little background and singing with them and their little shows and things. And then one day we're just sitting around, and I'm like, yo, I can rap. And they're like, what? I'm like, no, I can rap too. They're like, no, you can't. So I just started rapping, and then from there they're like, bump singing, like let's make this a all rap group. So I think I always loved to rap, but I didn't know that, because like you said, I'm different. So
right.
I didn't know if that was what was what people was looking for, if that was what people wanted. So until I became confident in my own artistry, rap was just kind of like something I just did. So I just kind of did it for fun, did it for my friends, did it for my family. But I would probably say just the poetry, the art of poetry, is what really drew me into being able to use my words to really get my feelings across. And of course, my life experiences, things that I've experienced.
Right.
That's why rapping is just second nature to me, because I'm going to rap about what I've been through, and I've been through some real stuff. So that's just
absolutely
what it is.
Absolutely, I could definitely attest to you finding that confidence in your music, because it exudes. It definitely shows when you record, and I could tell because you definitely feel each and every bar that you let out.
Thank you.
And it's something that portrays itself outward, and we all are able to feel every bit of music that you put out for us. And I think that's what's going to continue to push you to greater heights in your music career, because like you said, it's based off of personal experiences and things that you've been through. But also the other benefit that you have is that you have a way with words, being a poet, which most artists have that, but a lot of artists don't, because a lot of them aren't necessarily poets. They're great rappers,
right,
or they're great performers, but not necessarily a poet. And being able to figure out how to do rhyme schemes and how to get the timing right and so on and so forth. So those are things that you've got an advantage in, which is going to propel you very, very far. So like I said, I'm highly excited to see what you got going on. So you mentioned going to DSA. I know that's in the Bulls. So you said you're from the Bulls. So explain how that has been an inspiration for your music, and how the culture of the area has changed how you put out your music.
So being at DSA, of course, if you know anything about Durham School of the Arts, it's very versatile. Like, you can really be who you are, be yourself there. You'll find, and for people who don't know what DSA is, it's a performing arts school. So you have like singing, you can dance, you can be in theater, you can do photography, you can do paintings, whatever you want to do in art. So visual arts and performing arts. So being there, I double majored. I did dance and chorus. And it's crazy because I was at Durham School of the Arts mainly as an athlete. So I hoop. I'm also a varsity basketball coach. So I did more. I was to me from DSA. They're gonna probably associate me with sports because I played sports year round. So it was crazy because, and I sang the national anthems at all the games. So it's crazy how people probably wouldn't even associate me with rapping until like my later years, but until college days. So like because I was just like year round sports, just sports.
Right.
But DSA definitely helped me come into my own, like help me understand that I don't have to be like this person or be like that person. Like I can set aside myself because DSA, you're literally free to do or be who you want to be. So it definitely helped me, grow into that my personal artistry, my own self, my own personality. And I'm a very extra person. Like I can be very extra, and I definitely think that DSA had a lot to do with just bringing that out of me.
It's nothing wrong with being extra. A lot of people look at that as like something that's bad. Now I feel like being extra is great. Those are the people that stand out. Those are the people that are meant to do these things that they're doing. Ain't nothing wrong with extra. I got sisters, so trust me. Like I've seen extra, then I've seen like, okay, that's actually kind of normal. That's okay. But yeah, so I have sisters, so I completely understand. But no, there's nothing wrong with being extra at all. That's what makes you you. That's what makes you unique, and brings out your personality. Moving forward, as far as your music, what do I say? I don't want to say planning. As far as how you prepare your songs or how you prepare your freestyles or any other music that you do, what is like your typical strategy when you're coming up or creating?
So as a creative, when I play the beat, so I just play the music, like I play the instrumental, and honestly, it literally just comes, like
wow.
it literally just comes, and then I write it down, and then I'm just like, I do the words first, and then I work on the cadence. So because a lot of people don't realize that you might have bars, but it's the delivery as well. So if you don't have that delivery, we're not listening to what you're saying. You know what I'm saying? You're putting us to sleep. We're bored. So and that's what a lot of people don't realize, that it's and that's why sometimes some of the hottest songs, if you listen real close, the bars are so weak. But it's the delivery that you're like, that is catching your attention, because they making you feel them because of how they're giving it to you. So, and then there's some of us that have both. You gotta have both sometimes. So I feel like, honestly, I hear that beat and I think of like maybe something I went through that day, or something that that just happens to be, and I just let it out. I let it out, and sometimes it's even funny because sometimes I'll even mumble it like, you know what I'm saying? And then I put the words to it. So like it's just kind of a combination of hearing that beat, letting that beat flow, like letting it take you through it.
Right.
I know some people who write and then put the beat to it. Like I can't do that. So like just hearing that beat and then feeling it. So
boom, that's good.
That's crazy. I know my camera. It's the way it's holding it.
Yeah, they brought the comment up. They was gonna come for you eventually. But yeah, that's crazy that you're able to do it that way, as far as your creative process. Because a lot of people, like you said, a lot of people don't have the ability to do both. They're not able to get the cadence right, but also have the lyrical capabilities behind it, which it's just unbelievable that you're able to do that effortlessly, and the way that you do it. When it comes to, because I'm sure everybody wants to know, when it comes to your Sunny Sundays, how many takes do you typically do? Or is it like a one takes every now and then, or is it just how many do you do?
So what some people who are really close to me know, I literally am like socially shy. Like if I know you, I am the life of the party. But like in a new like this right here, like I'm even nervous doing this. Like I'm socially like super shy. So when a camera is on me, I'm like I can write a freestyle and literally, I can write one of my Sunny Sundays without the camera on, one take. soon as the camera come on, I start saying stuff that, like, it's not even on the paper, you know. So it's definitely. I mean, it's some. I mean, it's rare that it's a one. I'm just be honest. It's rare that it's a one take, and I'm also a perfectionist, so I can say it correctly, but I like may have wipe my nose so many times. I'm like, no, gotta redo it. So like, I'm a super like perfectionist when it comes to my artistry. That's why it's taken me so. You know, that's why like my songs haven't come out yet. Like I'm like it gotta be right. That's just how I am. It has to be right. I don't like doing anything mediocre at all.
Yeah, and I definitely noticed that. Like I said, like everything that you say exudes through your music. So it's kind of crazy that that's the case. But speaking of songs, because now that you put that out there, I'm sure that's going to be the next question people want to know. What you worked on a few. I know you're still working right now. What is do you have like an expectancy date for those, or are you trying to keep the dates off of it?
My single. Okay, so it's the story behind that. So I literally had plans to drop an EP by the end of January or beginning of February.
Mm-hmm.
What happened was when I first came out as an artist, I was told, I wanted to be a Christian artist, but I was told, like it might box me in as an artist. I could get more opportunities. Just labeling myself without the Christian in front of the conscious, just being Christian, right?
Mm-hmm.
But like my background is God, is faith, is the church. Like God is my everything.
Right.
So
Absolutely.
for me, it's what I do. Only what I'm going to do for Christ will last. Like that's my motto. So if only what I do for Christ will last, then I got to do this for Christ.
Right.
So I took like maybe like 3-4 weeks. It was like a break where you guys didn't get like anything from me.
Mm-hmm.
And I was flipping my entire platform over to Christian.
Wow.
So that case, I literally took my entire EP that I had ready and threw it away and scratched it. So I've started completely over. I have a single though that's dropping in like 3 weeks, 3 to 4 weeks.
All right.
So you guys are definitely going to get some music like very soon. I knew it was going to make me have to work extra hard because I was going to have to like redo everything.
Right.
But honestly, I would rather put in those hours, put in that work. Like I was in the studio the other day for like 4.5 hours. Like I was super tired. But I would rather do that than to put out something that's not me. You know what I'm saying? That's not who I want to be. So I'm very proud of my music that's coming. When you guys, let me tell you, when y'all see this single, it's crazy. It's gonna be worth the wait. That's what I keep telling everybody. I promise you. I'm giving you these Sundays so you can keep eating. But when you get this full meal, you're gonna be full. I'm telling you, you're gonna be full.
I'm definitely looking forward to it. That's crazy. Yo. Like the fact that you were just confident enough to be able to do that. It's a lot of artists that'd be terrified to scratch a whole project. Like I remember doing a show with another artist previously, and he was saying like how he's a perfectionist, and if he doesn't like it, I said, "Oh, you just gonna throw the whole thing away?" He said, "Nah, I can't do that. I can't throw the whole thing away." He said, "You got to be a bold individual to do that." And here you are. you were the one that is doing that.
If it's not, because your work is gonna reflect you.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And if it's not gonna be who I want to be, I can't put it out. Like I can't do that. So I'm glad that like I'm more excited now. I'm more excited because I know what y'all about to get is really me. You know what I'm saying? It's really who I am. Like, and I'm a church girl. I say it all the time. I'm the church girl who raps. That's me. That's me.
And there's nothing wrong with that. I'm telling you. A lot of people have to learn to be comfortable with, I wouldn't necessarily say what the religion is, because it's more of a relationship to me than it is a religion.
Right.
But a lot of people have to be comfortable in what they've been instilled as children and be able to manifest that into something bigger as they get older, which is that relationship. But explain what it's like for you, because you had the area when you were doing the music and it was coming out, but it wasn't necessarily labeled Christian music. It was more so, you said, Christian conscious music. So
right.
Explain how that that crossover went for you and what you dealt with in between that time period while you were making that crossover.
I definitely dealt with a lot of discouragement. Telling it's going to box me in. I'm going to be limited to how many audience members I can meet, I can reach, or how many radio stations I'll get played on. It's not going to play in the clubs. It's not
Right.
First of all, I don't go to clubs, so that didn't matter. But it was just going to be a lot of. I got a lot of backlash. Definitely not from like my family and my management team. They were all very supportive. But definitely from others that it was just. It could have been discouraging, but like I'm a very bold person in my own self, very confident in who I am. I know I can grip the game in the Christian field. I know I can grip it going the other way. Like I'm very confident who I am. I don't think any label that would have went on my artistry would have changed, the way I was going to deliver my music. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Always, I don't curse. So none of, like, if you notice, before I even switched over, none of my music cursed, but the message that I was given wasn't necessarily given the message that I wanted to do, which was to, win in my religion, which is to win, souls to Christ.
Right.
And that's not what I was doing in my other songs. I was just, trying to shoot off the haters and, trying to tell people to, ignore this, ignore that, do that. But it was a good message, but it didn't have the meaning that I wanted to put in that message. You know what I'm saying? So the transition was honestly easier than what you would probably expect. Like that, like crossing over, like changing my entire platform. It took a lot of work, but I feel like it was more easier because it was like me going from something that wasn't necessarily who I was to going to myself.
Right.
So it was definitely, it was definitely easy. It was easier than expected.
And that's
especially
good to hear.
Ignore all, like, you'll be surprised. I get it. I get a lot of, negative feedback sometimes, but
man, trust me.
I ignore it.
Trust me, I know. I know. I had never really been the one to have, negative energy or so on and so forth thrown my way until I started putting myself out there. Now, once I did that, oh no, now I'm looking at my phone. I'm like, yo, I don't even know who this is. I'm scrolling. I'm like, yo, this person just made an account. Okay, that's crazy. New text met. Yeah, so I completely understand. It's definitely a lot to do with it, especially when you're putting your talent out there for the world to see. But a lot of the times, most of the people that do, or the ones that are persecuting you, are the ones that are upset because they don't have the talent that you have. So I guess in a way you could say that it lets you know you were doing the right thing. You were going in the right direction.
Right. And I totally ignore it. Like, first of all, if you listen to a lot of the words in my freestyles, I say every beat. I don't do beat. Look, okay, I wasn't raised in the streets. I was raised in a happy home. I grew up good. I'm not your normal rap chick, and I'm not going to involve myself in any fake drama for you to build your career. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's enough room out here for all artists on all levels.
Exactly.
It's enough room out here for you to eat. Like, it's enough bread. Get your own bread. Like, don't try to bring me or pull in drama. And I hear it, I see it, but like you said, like, I'm so confident in myself that I just ignore it.
Yeah.
I ignore it. Like, I don't start beef. So when people start beef with me, you just look crazy.
Right.
At the end of the day.
Exactly. You quoted probably one of my favorite Sunny Sundays from you. I think that was the one you were in. You were in the studio when you did that one, weren't you? I believe so. The one where Yes, that is the one. Yeah, that was one of my favorite ones. I love that one to death. Because, I got some Jersey roots and some New York roots in the family, so that one kind of brought it home for me for a little bit. Definitely, well, a lot of bit. And if I'm not mistaken, you have some roots in up top as well, don't you?
I do. So my grandmother lives in Newark. A lot of my family lives in Newark, Jersey. My aunts and my cousins. So.
Oh, gang.
Southern Belle.
There's nothing wrong with it. There's nothing wrong with it at all. But I definitely love, the fact that you've gotten both aspects when it comes. Because when in the music, you can kind of tell like you do have some type of up north, roots.
I get that all the time.
Yeah, it shows. It definitely shows, and I could definitely say that most people that have those roots lyrically are just. They're just like it never stops. It's an ongoing process. It's like you literally have bars for days, and you're like, man, she just won't stop dropping the bars. Like, what's going on? And I do that every time I look at one of your videos. I'm like, man, this is crazy. It's like bar after bar. Or I'll be sitting there watching it with a friend, a few friends of mine, and they'll say something about a bar you just dropped, and I'm like, wait, you just missed this one because you were excited about that one. Like, so you definitely, know how to keep people into the music and what you're bringing forward. And like you said, there's all positive messages. So that's something that I feel like is very powerful to have as an artist, because a lot of these artists out here aren't giving out positive messages, but that's what's keeping people entertained. So when you're able to do the opposite and give out the positive message and still keep people entertained, and then to the point where people are able to just off of the first listen are able to remember, maybe half or even the whole thing, that lets you know that you're impacting people in a positive way. So that's really big, and I definitely want to make sure you get your flowers while you can get them, because that is just something that is underappreciated in the music industry. You definitely have people like that have those abilities, are like the Lauryn Hills of the game, the Rhapsodies of the game, the NDREs, like people that just are able to captivate you in their music, and you just kind of just sit there, and next thing you know, you don't snap out of it till it's over. So that's something that's really dope, and you man, listen, you are something special. You are definitely something special. You're welcome. So what advice could you give for an artist, because you've gotten comfortable in yourself and you've gotten comfortable in your art and your craft? So what advice could you give for an artist that's dealing with, an artist that's not necessarily comfortable with, how their music is coming out or what they're doing? What advice did you give for them to push them forward?
So especially, and for all artists, but like, I speak a lot to female artists, because the female industry it's filled with a lot of like things that like it's filled with a lot of like hate and the competition. Like, it's not friendly competition,
right?
Because there is this one way that people have just known female artists, to rap, which was, about, your body, or about, not needing a man, or, what I'm saying, not needing this. And there are some of us women that's not our lane. So for me, I've met a few girls who have been like, it just feels good to be able to hear somebody rap about something different, to rap about, real life stuff, and not just about what I have or what I don't have, on my body, or what I have in my pocket, or a Birkin bag, or, what I'm saying? So, don't get me wrong. Like, I love clothes. I love shopping, but it's like, where's the real words? Where's the real lyrics? So I would tell somebody, like, be you, do what you want to, like, do you, just because it might not fall in the line of like what you're hearing on your radio. There is a group of people out there that want to hear you, that want to hear your artistry and want to see what you have to say. And don't be discouraged if it's not like, I don't even have 4,000 followers, but that doesn't bother me, because I know the 3,800 followers I do have, I'm going to give them all of me. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
And when that grows, it grows. So that's what you got to do. Love the people that listen to you. Love those. Don't worry about the ones that's not rooting for you. Like, you got enough people. If you got one, you got enough.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? Like, work on giving yourself. Do it for you. Because if you do it for just to get attention or to get the money, it's going to get really discouraging.
Absolutely.
Like, make sure you're doing what you love and you're doing it for you. Like, don't worry about what the people on the outside, are trying to say, because in the day, it's your artistry. Nobody knows how hard you work. Nobody knows how many hours you put in. So that would be my advice and stop beefing with each other. Like that would be another advice. Like let's just love.
Yes,
Just love.
that's
Like
important.
support people the same way you would want them to support you. Like, and that's just I'm a genuine person, so that's just me.
Right, absolutely. And you possibly gave out some of the best advice that they could get for the night. You know, be entrusted with few before you get many. You know, because that's even, you know, a biblical situation. God isn't gonna give you, you know, the world when you can't handle, you know,
Right.
your yard, or stepping
Right,
outside, or you
right,
can't handle the street, or you can't
right.
handle the city, or whatever. So you have to, you know, those are building blocks. He has to be able to trust you with those things before he gives them to you. Because if he just, you
Right.
know, decides to say, "Hey, take it all," you know, now you could get to a situation where you can't handle it, and what you thought you wanted may not be what you wanted anymore. So
Exactly.
you know, you got to take
Exactly.
things slowly.
Exactly.
You got to take them slowly, and definitely appreciate the few that, or the consistent listeners. You know,
Right.
because even in the statistic world, things like that matter. Like when you go to YouTube, your views aren't based off of how many people click the video and then
Right.
click away. It's how many people click it and then listen to it
And
for at
listen,
least a
right.
certain amount of time. So you have to worry more so about the ones that are consistent supporters and consistent listeners, and then you expand yourself. That's how it goes. That's for everybody listening, because you typically get few people that, especially if they find out like, oh, it's a rapper or a singer or producer or whatever, you typically get that crowd that tends to listen to it because they want advice and they want to see how it goes. So you definitely gave some great advice, especially for young women. Emphasis on the young women in the industry. You guys are really doing big things. I've met a few of you that are really trying to change up how women are portrayed in the music industry. And I just feel
Yeah,
like that is
and
dope.
it's tough. It sometimes it gets tough,
Hmm.
especially because it is such a male dominant field.
Right.
So, just trying to establish your place in that field, especially as a Christian female artist. You know, I've gotten some offers to do music with or do features with people, but I got to be careful of who I do it with or where
Right.
I go. Or when I go to the studio, I got to be careful of what producer I'm working with. So that's why I keep one producer. Shout out to Queasy. Like, you got to be really careful about where you go because as a female, you just
Yeah.
never know. You just never know. It's unsafe. So I mean, I'm not saying men don't have the same issues, but I just from my experience, just trying to cipher out who is really want to work with me and who trying to do other stuff. You know
Right.
what I'm saying? Like you really think I'm dope, or you just saying that because you trying to get me in your studio? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So it's just be careful. Like use your wisdom. Um, don't be afraid to listen to people. Like be humble.
Hmm.
Like take advice, especially when you're starting out. So like for me, like I'm super like I know that I make mistakes. I'm not perfect. So when I meet somebody who can lead me, who can mentor me, I take it. I run with it. Like if you can prevent me from doing mistakes that you did, like thank you. So like
Hmm.
just be very humble and listen and take advice and heed. Like be like watch yourself, watch your surroundings because this industry it can be like there's so many times where I was like, do I really want to do this? Do I really want to put myself out there and just making sure that you protect yourself, your energy, your space, the people around you. There's a
Hmm.
lot of cappers out here. You got to be careful of who you surround yourself with,
Yes.
and just yeah, it's
Yeah,
tough.
man. The music industry as a whole is an interesting industry to be a part of. Because
Yeah,
it's every day. You could typically when you're doing something for a while, you could typically be like, oh, I've been there, done that, seen that, heard that. But the music
yeah,
industry is like, nope, something new every day. Like it's gonna be
yep,
something different every day, and so you're right. You're absolutely right. You have to stay vigilant. You have to stay aware. You have to keep wisdom. You have to discern and be able to discern what's right and what's wrong. Um,
hmm
it, Listen, people, please discern. Get the ability to discern. What's good for you and what isn't. Because I've known a few artists that have not had that ability, and things have went down south.
south, right,
So I'm very,
right,
very I'm very particular when it comes to, especially like you said, like it does happen to male artists as well, but it's very, very prominent in the female community, especially with our black women in the music industry. They get taken advantage of, and we definitely want to make sure that doesn't happen. So for producers, studio engineers, rappers, singers, whatever you do, if you want these women to work with you, please respect them. Please keep them or uphold them to the standards like you would for your own sister or for your aunt or for your mother, because it's, if you want to work with them, like you said, it's for the talent. It's not for what they look like or who they are, or how bad you want to do whatever with them. Is for their talent, and leave it at that. Talent alone is, because people forget, like, it's still a business at the end of the day. So the way you carry yourself whenever you're doing this music is, you still have to carry it in a business manner as such. So guys, like, doing these things with these women that are coming into these music industries that are trying to work with you and genuinely want to work with you, you could put out a spark, for the next Lauryn Hill, or for the next Rhapsody, like we would say, or the next Jill Scott, or the next MC Light. So come on, guys, we got to, cut that out. that's not okay. I may have laughed a little bit, but that's not a joking matter. I definitely take that serious as a guy with sisters, as a man with a mother, with aunts, so on and so forth. I have a different respect for women than that. So we absolutely have to make sure that we are treating these women right in the music industry, because it's a talent, and we have to protect the talents out here in this world, because we are losing talents every single day. It's definitely crazy how many people in the music industry are just gone. Dropping like flies. So we have to protect the people that are, doing a service to us, by sharing their life, because really that's something that people take for granted. A music artist is literally sharing their life and sharing their experiences and their stories every day, which is what you do. With your music, you definitely invite everybody into, what you have going on, for not like too much, but you give just enough for us to get a general idea of what's going on. And I think that's another thing that keeps people, latched onto you, because you're so transparent and translucent that people feel like, they know you, even if they just watch you on, your social media. They just watch, even if they just watch the Sunny Sundays videos, they're like, yeah, that's my girl, like, I know her, like, that's like, so you have one of those personalities where people just naturally warm up to you. Man, it's dope. You're a dope individual.
Thank you.
You're welcome. So I got like maybe two more for you. One, I have to know this personally. So as far as your Mount Rushmore, I'm gonna give you like top five. How do I want to word this? Rappers or artists? Rappers. Which one you want? Rappers or artists? We gonna go with artists. I'm gonna go artists. Top 5 artists of all time. And
My top 5, my very, very top, which is probably so surprising, but I am a huge Drake fan.
Really?
Like huge Drake fan, because he's just a lyricist to me. Like,
he is.
His words, you know what I'm saying? Like, he uses those words, and it's just, and that's what makes you go, when you hear a song, you're like, oh, you know what I'm saying? So, huge Drake fan. Of course, I love Rhapsody. Love her. She is everything. I feel like she gave me a lot of confidence to just come out and do it, because she's different. I mean, I love her. And then, of course, I love Eminem. I'm an Eminem fan.
Yeah.
Because he's a storyteller. So, as you can tell, like, my music is very storytelling. Like, I like to tell stories. So, they, like Drake, Rhapsody, Eminem, they tell stories. And Rhapsody's from North Carolina, too. And another fellow North Carolina person is J. Cole. I love J. Cole. So that would be my number 4, and then my number 5 is Lecrae. I love Lecrae. He's a Christian hip hop artist, a male artist. So he's really dope. I love all 5 of those people are storytellers. So that's probably
Lecrae.
Definitely my inspiration and where I come from. I love people who tell those stories through their lyrics.
Yes, I definitely love Lecrae. As far as his music abilities as well, I've been listening to him for a while. He's incredible. I
Yeah.
remember he came out with who did I first heard him do a song with who? I cannot remember, but he was also another Christian rapper. I think his name was like The Truth or something like that. I want to say that's what his name was. I think it was, but it was. Regardless, I became a fan like that day when I heard it. So yeah, he's also been in my list too.
It's
A lot of
hard.
people
Like
forget.
he just hard.
Yeah, man, he's so creative. Like it's crazy. Like lyrically, the man's a beast. And he's been able to cross over, back and forth between
Right.
platforms. But it's like he could drop one song and it works on both ends. So
It works
that's
everywhere, right?
yes.
Right.
So
Powerful.
that I can see how that's an inspiration for you because you are that type of artist. You have a song, you drop it, and it can just go wherever pretty much. We kind of can't categorize your music. It's more so like what? I mean, I wouldn't even say alternative. It's not alternative. We definitely put the conscious tag up there, but it's you got so much that you could throw out with that song, with those songs that you release. So you're definitely not in like one particular label or one particular area, and that's what keeps you entertaining. I love it. I absolutely love it. So the last one, since I asked you what your top 5 Mount Rushmore would be for artists, if you had a feature list, what would be like the top 5 of that you would want?
My top 5 feature list. So the other day, it's so funny. I was talking to my management team, and I was saying, you know what would be so crazy? If I could be featured on a song with Molly Music. I love Molly.
Yo, incredible.
Oh my gosh. Or Kurt Franklin. Oh my gosh, please.
Yeah, we got to
So,
make Molly happen.
Definitely. Some Molly Music, Kurt Franklin. I would love to be featured on something with like a Tasha Cobbs. I love Tasha. I'm a worshiper, so I love that worship music. Rhapsody, that would be a dream. Period. Call me, girl. That would be a dream.
Manifest it. It's coming.
And then I would probably say, I love Kim. I love Lil Kim. I love Lil Kim. I
Yeah,
grew up
that's
listening
the
to,
queen.
like the Nicki Minaj and the Lil Kim. So it's probably why you hear that rough North connection from. That's who I grew up listening to. I meant to put her on there. I love Lil Kim.
Yeah, that's the queen right there. Got to have
I
her.
love Queen. You gotta give respect where respect is due. So, if I could be, if I could do a song with a feature with them, that would be great.
Absolutely. All right. Hey, look, listen. If you do Molly, I'm looking forward to that one because
Period.
you got
oh
the.
my God.
We got
I love
the.
me some Molly music.
We got to figure out how to get that one going. Because if I can have a hand in that one, trust and believe, I'm gonna figure a way out to get it done. Because Lord, listen, that would be a dope one. He's one of my favorite artists, like ever. He's one of my favorite artists ever.
Yes, he's good.
I haven't met too many artists like him. I only got to meet him once in my life, and it was incredible. He came to a what was it? You heard of like no, it wasn't Panay. Which mom conference was it? I went to a mom conference.
Oh, I know the Panay Mom conference.
Yes, I used to mime in that a lot. So everybody, yes, I used to mime. Okay, I used to do that. But
yes, I'm mom too. So that's
yeah.
dope.
Yeah, I used to love it. I went to one conference and he was there with William McDowell. And I got to meet the two of them.
William McDowell.
Yeah. William McDowell's a different breed as well. I know you love him because you said you're a worshiper, so you got to love William McDowell. That's all he got to do is say I give myself away, and the whole church is just. That's it. The whole building is out before he even starts off. It's just.
Right.
That's just that one verse right there. Do it for the rest of the day. Molly Music. He did what? I think it was called All I Have to Give. I think is what it was called. It was off. I think the album was called like Awakening or something like that. I can't remember what the album was called. And then I heard another song where he did with Kirk Franklin.
Yes.
Yeah. Give me that.
Boy.
Yeah.
Yes.
Every day. I'm gonna listen to that song every day. It never fails.
That's my
Every
song.
day. Oh yeah, people talking about I love that song. Yep, exactly. That's a song right there. It's crazy. Enough people don't know about it. They don't know about it, but listen.
He's lyrical. I was watching his episode on the Sorrell show yesterday, and he's just like how he can just hit the keys and just
Yeah,
he's great.
it's incredible, yo. He's a different breed of artist. So, like I said, we gonna figure out how to get that one working between the two of y'all. Y'all gonna have to link up. Yeah, you're gonna have to do that. And that one, I'm seeing you rapping and singing on that one. You're gonna have to do both. Go ahead and give him a run for his money and let him know that you here. So you got to do that. You definitely got to do that, and I definitely will do my best to keep you tapped in with the few events that I hear of that come out that are looking for artists. I know there's like the COVID thing going on, but a lot of people are doing like the virtual concerts and tours and whatnot now. So I definitely will, keep you in that rotation for, any events that's looking for an artist of your caliber.
Thank you.
Because people need to hear you, yo. They gotta hear you. You're refreshing. You're a refreshing artist.
Thank you
and
so much.
It's something that a lot of people need to hear. Because like you said, a lot of music that comes out these days doesn't have any substance to it. There's nothing you can take away from it. You can't listen to a lot of music these days and be like, yeah, I learned something, or that motivated me, or that inspired me, or that made me feel better, or I got this feeling from this song. You don't really get feelings from music too often anymore. So for you to be able to do that and consistently do it back to back, exactly, yeah, SunnyJ is a rare breed. That's exactly what it is. So
you.
So man, listen, you got a very dope talent. Like I said, I was definitely hyped to have you up here. I'm still hyped as much as I'm containing it more so than but I was definitely hyped to have you up here. I definitely been following you. I'm still going to follow you. I'm definitely going to tap in with you on future events that I do. I'm going to keep you locked in for a lot of things. Because I'm growing my network, so I'm meeting people as I go and meeting more people. So it's definitely, yeah, I'll definitely throw you out there.
I love what you're doing, like giving the artists, and other people different platforms. And I've definitely followed some artists from some of your other podcasts. Like, just it really loops us in and gets to know each other. Like I said, I'm socially like this. You know what I'm saying? So my music is like how I communicate, like how I talk. So being able to meet more people and see more people and do that, I can't wait. Like I'm ready to drop my single. Like I'm ready to drop it so people can really feel like that rawness. It's called Ode to Son. It's an ode to my son, and just about like little black boys growing up and what's going on right now, and just how like making sure like I'm trying to teach him faith and how to hold on and even through all these hard times. So like I'm excited to just drop this single, drop this EP, so everyone can see how relatable like my music is. Like it applies to everyone's life. So I can't wait for that.
Yes, and once you drop it, please, I will. Once you drop it, send it to me, because what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna be creating a playlist of all the artists that have come on the show. So once I do that, I'll distribute it, and I've got it for iHeartRadio, Pandora, and Spotify right now. So once I make that playlist, it'll just drop out and everybody can listen to it. And it'll probably reach other areas that I have no clue about. But it's definitely, something that I want to do as an appreciation for all of the artists that have stepped onto the platform. And, just to be able to push their music out. That's something that I want to do. That's my biggest aspiration between this. It's not for myself. It's more so for you guys, and making sure that you guys get the promotion and the spotlight that you guys deserve as artists, especially being indie right now. That's something that a lot of people kind of underestimate. Indie artists typically, to me, are always the more talented artists because they're working not for the label or to please the label. They're working for themselves and to please their immediate audience. So you guys have an advantage in the music industry. But like I said, definitely appreciate you coming on the show today. It has been
Thank you.
wonderful.
Thanks for having me.
Likewise. I will definitely stay in contact with you. You're a great person, great energy, great spirit, great person to be around, great conversation. Again, for the people listening, especially on the platforms, you guys have been tapped in with SunnyJ, so now y'all have no excuses. Like y'all know, if you didn't know before, now you know. That's the saying. I hate to be cliche, but it is what it is. If you didn't know before, now you know. So listen, tap in. Make sure y'all stay tapped into what she's got going on. For the people on the platforms, go ahead and plug in your social media and how to follow you from here on out.
Yes. So I'm pretty saying the same on everything. I'm keeping up with Sunny. On Facebook, you can find me at Sunny Mariah Jackson. So yeah, just make sure you plug in with me. Keeping up with Sunny.
Boom, straight like that. Y'all heard it straight from her. So again, like I said, no excuses. And I'm gonna say it one more time for you, Sunny Jackson, so y'all know. Just so y'all can know. Again, I'm gonna go ahead and sign this out. Again, Sunny, I truly appreciate you for coming up here. For the viewers, we appreciate you guys for listening in. I will be saving this episode on my Instagram live for you guys to go back in. In case you missed the beginning or in case you missed the end, you'll definitely have an opportunity to go back and catch all of this, because she definitely is somebody you want to make sure you tap into. But it is that time. So for the listeners, y'all know how it goes. For the culture, by the culture, stay live. You ain't got to get live. It's the live crew. And we stay live with SunnyJ. Again, thank you so much for coming up here.
Thank you.
I appreciate it. All right. You have a wonderful night, all right?
You too.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.